What a day. The boys came, they fought, they got the win. Join me as we live the moment, the celebration, and everything that made this day special. AC Milan has just won 4-2 against Manchester United in Poland. This is the conclusion of the preseason friendlies. Amazingly, unfortunately, if I would say, AC Milan hadn't won any of the games they've played in the preseason friendlies. They had a draw to Celtic, which was pardonable because AC Milan had the first game of the preseason. Boys were still coming back from the World Cup. A lot of things were still going on. A new manager, new signings, players leaving. So these things have, would have affected the first friendly game. The second friendly game, yes, I would say Inter Milan is like a derby. It's always a derby playing against Inter Milan, right? And then we got the win. Nkunku scored the penalty. And it was an amazing game, yes. I know in Jakarta it was so noisy in that game, but yeah, it was a decent showing also out there. But the game against Chelsea was just absolutely bonkers, if I'll use that word, because it was a pure waste of time for being an AC Milan fan and a football supporter. It was really boring for AC Milan. No shot on targets. Rafael Leao, all the guys didn't turn up. And then after that game, that was when we heard Ruben Amorim, the new manager for AC Milan, having to say he's seen enough of the players that he wants to use for this season. And yeah, it was an amazing one to see that maybe the spirit is now of the boys are now there, because now they know that they are in the plans for the new coach. So it was a good outing today. It was a 4-2 win against Manchester United. Let's get into it. I mean, the game started. And right as the game started, Patrick Dorgu had that chance, shot at the keeper Torriani, and then he put it out. The game started really bad for AC Milan because they were on the back foot immediately. Moments before that, Bruno Fernandes had the corner kick, and then same Maguire that had a fracas with Yunus Musa. He just lost his mark, and Maguire scored, and yeah, it was 1-0, just 1 minute. I think it was in 1 minute 40 seconds. That was when Maguire scored the goal. And then AC Milan were still on the back foot for about 10 to 15 minutes in the game. And after the goal, yes, after that pressure has subsided, AC Milan came out of the shell and started playing. They played good football, in my opinion. They played really good football. By the end of the first half, it was about 67% of possession, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, going down, as the game went on, AC Milan built confidence. They were coming out, they were playing the game. Yes, one player that I'll pick out as one of the standouts today was Ardon Jashari. He has never had his time at AC Milan because, came in with injury, didn't really do so well. Didn't really play so much last season because of the addition of Adrien Rabiot and Luka Modric. I mean, Luka Modric, everyone knows he's the master of the midfield. Definitely, Jashari had a lot to learn, and I think he picked a few things from Modric last season. And Modric is, he's getting older. So yeah, it was a good outing for Jashari. The pressing was really high. I wrote a lot of things down on my notes as I was watching the game. It was impressive to see. Maybe that's the real Amorim Ball that we've all been waiting for. And yeah, we saw it today. Jashari, had a pass. Had an interplay with Loftus-Cheek, but then he bluffed his chances. I think in the 8th minute. Yeah. If you didn't watch the match, yeah, you can follow for the breakdown. Estupinian, there's just something about Estupinian. I think he had a decent game today. To be honest, he had a decent game today, but there was just something about him too that I didn't like. Is the fact that sometimes he puts himself in a position where precarious situations where it's either he's stuck up, he's losing his man yards away, he's not marking. Because in that game, the 8th minute, in the 10th minute, Estupinian was really fair with that chance because he was on the same line with the guy. But then, before we knew what was happening, he saw the ball coming in, but they misjudged the ball totally. And then he had him chasing the defender and got that card. If it was in a proper match, let's say UEFA Champions League match or any of these proper tournaments, definitely with the way the referee came to him to have a chat with him, definitely to be a red card because it was the last man standing. There was a lot of things about Estupinian that he needs to improve. I know he's a good player, but then we AC Milan fans, I think we've seen enough. when Batasagi came in, there were lots of changes that were really impressive from that point of position where Estupinian played earlier. So Cisse had a chance in the 14th minute, and I thought that chance would be a goal, but then he didn't score the goal. Jashari had a weak shot from a free kick also, which went out. I think it was just poor communication from the players. In the 36 minutes, we had a press from Manchester United, missed passes. Manchester United had, they had missed passes at the back, and then Jashari, he just been pressing all game from the first minute to when he even had the pre-assist for the goal. And then came the pre-assist in the 37th minute. Jashari pressed from the throw-in, kept pressing, got the ball, gave it to Gonzalo Ramos, and Gonzalo Ramos just dropped his shoulder and gave the ball to Samuel Chukwueze. That goal, in my opinion, I think that goal was really worked by Jashari. Yes, that's true, but Ramos had a lot of work to do when he gave that ball to, because taking your head up, seeing the players around you, knowing the awareness of picking out Chukwueze was just something I really loved, because he felt the goalkeeper thought he wanted to put the ball in it. As a striker, that's the first thing that you think about, right? But then he gave the ball to Samuel, and Samuel just slotted it home to make it 1-1. And AC Milan got pressing from then on, was doing really well. Terracciano had all game, I've watched him all game, but then there is something I pointed out here at the 38th minute when he just did consecutive mistakes. We passed the ball, he wasn't sure, stays on the ball too long. Indecision was just so much with Terracciano. He had a decent game also today, but then that same thing it was something that has happened to him before he went on loan. Slow decisions, he just kept making slow decisions almost all game, and that cost him. It cost us the goal. 39 minutes, he did that, and then with the penalty, in my opinion, also the penalty was a soft penalty. It wasn't that. I mean, if it was using a VAR, definitely that should be checked, because it was a very soft penalty and Tielemans just went down in the box. But yeah, also Torriani stood up again to the occasion. Bruno Fernandes shot the penalty and Torriani saved it. Torriani is becoming, he's trying to give Mike Maignan a run for his money. So for the second minute, the penalty was taken and lost. And then generally in the first half, I think AC Milan really played well, but then some of our players didn't capitalize on the chances we were having. We kept having barrage of chances, but then we're missing a lot of chances, clear-cut chances that should be slotted home early and early enough. If these matches were like competitive matches, these moments will count. Definitely, they will count, and we wouldn't like the fact where they come back to haunt us, right? So. But in general, the first half, I would say AC Milan really did well. They had like 4 attempts each, and AC Milan had more attempts on targets. But then it was 1-0 to AC Milan and Manchester United. But one thing I'll deduce from the first half is that Gonzalo Ramos' calmness on the ball was just something I really liked. Yes, I've watched him, but then today's game, the way he held the ball, before he loses the ball, it's either the defender or the opponent comes to take the ball off him, and then put him off on the foul. But then, aside that, his level of awareness was just impressive. It's something I really liked. It was something that Oliver Giroud used to have in an AC Milan shirt. Giroud would hold the ball, his hold-up play, or watch around, give the ball to the oncoming Rafael or any of these guys, Messias, and the other guys that were there in the Scudetto winning campaign. And it was a really nice one for AC Milan the first half. The second half was almost the same thing as the first half, and we should, watch it really well, considering really early in the half. So second half, it was a goal from AC Milan, a throw-in from Chukwueze, an error from Terracciano, which cost us the goal. He had those mistakes in the first half already, and in the second half, it cost us the goal. In 55 minutes, we had like this bad free kick from Alfredo Cisse, where it wasn't impressive, but yeah, the guy was also decent today. He really had the game going. He held the ball well. His dribbles stood out. he was really impressive in my opinion too. The 57th minute, AC Milan also scored back again with Cisse. And if you watch that goal really closely, you'd see how AC Milan attacked that goal. It was from Cisse who spread the ball wide to Chukwueze, and then Chukwueze did what he'd always has done in the preseason. Against Celtic, he had two chances like that, which Kamada converted, one from the penalty spot and one from Chukwueze's assist also. And similar to, I felt like the cross was a fluke, but who knows? He's been doing that all preseason. Definitely, it might be intentional. So he had that chance, and then Cisse went on the back end of it and converted that second goal. So it was 2-2 to play, and then there was a lot to play for. I mean, at the time when he scored in the 57th minute, Milan did something that I really liked, and I think it's coming from the Amorim Ball also. Milan really played in a way that in the 65th minute, they played out of the back, really seamless. They've been doing it all game, I know, but then at that point, that was when the 60th minute was when the substitutes, came in. There were lots of substitutes that came in, and it was impressive to see that the players who came on the field were also decent. Like Mario Hila, he was really good on that right side of the fence. He was really good. It was impressive. A combination of Luka Modric, Mario Hila, Chukwueze, Cisse. It was just tap here, and the ball was on the other side of the field, which was really impressive. If we keep on with that, definitely AC Milan will do so well in this campaign. I mean, you don't have to solve all the puzzle, but then if you can keep up with these little things, give your next man, it will be really impressive. Likes of Yusuf Fofana, this is just what I didn't like about him. He complicates the game so much. Estupinian, he complicates the game too much. Sometimes it's as easy as giving your next man. We all know we have the eye test to always tell, oh, this guy has something special. Yeah, that flow of play was so impressive at that point, and I really applaud the stadium really applauded them so well, and I really liked it. And the 68 minutes was when AC Milan scored the third goal, which made it 3-2, and it was a goal from Gonzalo Ramos. And Chukwueze also did the same thing he has been doing all preseason, as I said earlier. Put out the ball for Gonzalo, and Gonzalo just scored a striker's goal. That's exactly what Giroud would do, or Inzaghi would do, or Shevchenko would do. Definitely, Ruben coming in and getting his players. Definitely, I feel like the AC Milan would impress in this campaign. I have a gut feeling like that. So, but then in general, I would say what I deduced also was Luka Modric's calmness. He's just so impressive. His calmness rubs off on everybody around him. When he came, he kept instructing with his hands. He kept, oh wait, I'll give you the ball. I wouldn't give you the ball now. I would. He doesn't speak, but his body language just shows you he knows what he's a master at this thing. Luka Modric is just extraordinarily good. That guy, we still need him. Definitely, he might not have the legs to run for like the last campaign where he had to play so much. But then, last campaign also, we're doing so much of defending, right? But we're not even creating more going forward or attacking out, as Ruben Amorim always likes. But then in this case, I think that if you're attacking, definitely you need players like Luka. Luka will be really handy. He will come up handy in this campaign, because it's a different style of play, it's a different pattern of play, which suits him better, because he's definitely, we all know how Luka's brain is in football. One of those brains that are ageless and timeless. So yeah, the starting 11 was Torriani. From the right, central defender was Terracciano. In the middle was Cody De Winter. In the left was Pavlovic, who was the captain of the day. Then the other guys who started in midfield was Yunus Musa, Adon Jashari, Estupinan, Chukwueze on the right. We had Cisse, we had Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and we had Gonzalo Ramos spearheading the attack. And when Kamada came in, yes, Kamada, he needs to improve in his physicality and a few other things. But then, I know Kamada also had a chance in the 93rd minute where he almost scored before the whistle went for full time. AC Milan was impressive today. I really liked how they played. I really liked how they defended, and the transition of play from defense to attack was really impressive. These are the things that I want to see in the new season. With news going out there that there's some players that he doesn't want in his team, players like Yusuf Fofana has been told showed the exit door. Zakaria Takame, yes, Leon now with a dry loan. Tomori, has been shown the door also. He has been shown the exit door. A few players, yes, here and there. Odogu has been shown the exit door, and a few other ones also. So we hope that Jerry Cardinale would give Ruben Amorim his players, the players he needs. I mean, these are the things that always happens in a football club where a coach comes in and then he wants his players. It's kind of players that would, make him function to his full potential. And these are the things that kind of delayed in Manchester United at the first place, but then saw him see the exit door. But now he's AC Milan, a new league, new language, new style of football, just everything new around him. So he needs his players to function properly. I hope Jerry Cardinale gets him the players, and let's get the Ruben Amorim Ball rolling. So yeah, here's a rundown of the game today. We hope to see AC Milan play like this again in the beginning of the season against Torino. I hope they come out with this sort of showing just to make a point that we're still the contenders of the Serie A. Yeah, if you like this sort of content, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to put a comment down. Also, you can follow me on my social media handles at highline_talks on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Yeah, so I'll see you on the next one.